تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع الدعاء وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. Ya Allah, we are starting this journey and we commit it to your hand. برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kau Sumela. Yes, you don't need much introduction. He has been around. He has gone around and came around. He was only a couple of months, especially advisor to the President on the National Assembly Matters House of Reps. Thank you. The opening remark will be read by no one, a veteran, my brother, very courageous, hardworking, and a loyal fighting man. Please welcome, let me introduce you, Honorable Abdulmini Jibrin from Kano, Director General of this campaign organization. Thank you. DG.
The leader of the House of Representatives and my senior colleague, brother and a friend, and by the grace of Almighty, the incoming Speaker of the ninth House of Representatives, all other senior colleagues of mine present here, members-elect, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me quickly say, the candidacy of Femi Abdul Hakim Gbajabiamila, well, if you are from the up north and you find it a bit difficult to pronounce it, you can as well call him Babanjamila. The candidacy of Femi, of Honorable Femi Baja, it's not about he himself. It is all about our democracy. It's about sanitizing our democracy. It's about bringing back civility to our democracy. It's about adopting what we always preach, global best practice. Not until 2011, it has always been the case. When we come to the point of electing leaders or nominating leaders for position of the National Assembly, it is the sole, otherwise we rely on the advice of the party. It is not only obtained in Nigeria. That is the practice all over the world. All the time we make reference to the United States of America, we make reference to the United Kingdom, Europe, Asia, everywhere you go around the world. Why is it that when it comes to Nigeria, we're good in preaching good, but we're very bad in practicing it? I've always admitted that some of us were guilty of what happened in 2011 and 2015. But for the fact that these things happened then does not mean that we cannot correct it. Most especially that God Almighty has granted us the good health and the opportunity to still be within the system. So it is a responsibility of all of us, you and I, to see that we bring back this tradition to existence. Secondly, our candidate is seated here with the risk of being immodest, with the risk of sounding boisterous, and of course, talking from an informed individual who has been in the system for a very long time. I will not be making a mistake if I say Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila stand out as the best candidate we can offer for that position. If you are talking about experience, you can't beat him. If you are talking about brilliance, astuteness, ability to organize, manage situation, relate with people, build relationship, build bridges, then when you have Gbajabiamila, then your job is done. We're also not taking situation for granted, and we will not, because we also understand that within and without, there are other people that are also interested. We will respect every other person. We will run a very clean campaign. We are not interested in throwing muds. But again, for those who are expert in throwing muds, who are expert in spreading rumor, who are expert in spreading blackmail and myth all around, we plead to them that in the interest of peace and unity, in the interest of a house that will all come together, stay together for the next 4 years and work for this country, we beg them to please run a clean campaign based on issues. We will go all around to campaign. We are not going to sit and fold our arms. Anybody who is aspiring to any office in the National Assembly is entitled to do that. All we are saying is that there's a culture, there's a tradition you should follow. But those who will insist will knock at their doors and sit and have conversation with them. We will lobby, we will campaign, and we will ensure that we convince all of them. Let me also say, while we respect everyone, including the opposition, we may consider it a bit weird, because this attitude of putting aside precedents, tradition of democracy, global best practices, we're taking it to the highest level, or perhaps to a very ridiculous level. How can you explain a situation where someone from a minority party will want to aspire to the position of speaker? Now, two wrongs does not make a right. But will they be surprised if someone from the majority party decides to contest for the position of minority leader, supported by us, ensure that he emerge on the floor of the House, recognize him as minority leader, and we allow them to go to court? We don't want to get to that situation. And since I assumed as the Director General of this campaign, alongside a large number of the team that we have, we've tried to engage most of them, especially those in the opposition party. And I can also guarantee you that a very large number of them are convinced that today they might be in the minority, tomorrow they might be in the majority. So it is all important for us to come back and protect this democracy. I thank you so much. I will conclude by saying we will continue to work hard. We will continue to consult. We will continue to reach out to everyone. And we call on everybody, all members elect, across parties, that they should all come and join hands. We are giving them the guarantee that Honorable Femi Abdul Hakim Gbajabiamila, aka Gbajabiamila, will be a speaker for every member of the House of Representatives. He will also, that I'm going to borrow from him because it's his line, he will also ensure the independence of the legislature, at the same time, the interdependence of the legislature. I thank you so much, and we look forward to working very closely with you all, and of course our party, and our president, in the person of President Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you, DG. What else will I say? He said Gbajabiamila is most qualified for this job. Congratulations, Gbajabiamila. And the DG has made it point clear that this campaign is going to be issue-based. We are all brothers in National Assembly, 360 of us. So it's going to be what we expect from our brothers is to join with this campaign organization to ensure sanity is brought back and let us have the global best practice. The next issue on the agenda is for me to invite another distinguished honorable member, one of the leading lights in this country from the Northeast. Let me use single opportunity to invite one of the most ranking members of the House of Representatives. He has been around for quite a while, Honorable Muhammad Tahir Mungunu, to come and read the citation of Gbajabiamila. Thank you.
The leader of the House, and inshallah, the next Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Ado Dogwa, my colleagues, members of the House of Representatives, and members-elect, you are all welcome to this very important gathering. Before I will carry on with the task given to me, which is reading the citation of Honorable Gbajabiamila, I want to add just a word or two upon the issue of global best practice elucidated to by Honorable Abdulmumin Jibril, of which that party supremacy should always be jealously guarded and protected by all loyal party members. In addition to that, one other democratic best practice that we should always strive jealously to uphold and protect is the practice of the leader of a parliament automatically metamorphosing to be the speaker whenever that party is in majority. There are a lot of examples, especially in the US House of Representatives, where we covet our own democracy. We are all living witnesses to the fact that Nancy Pelosi, who happens to be the minority leader, automatically when her party became majority, she metamorphosed into being the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the US Parliament. So, mutatis mutandis, the same practice should be applied to the House of Representatives in Nigeria. And that is the reason behind Honorable Gbajabiamila's declaration today, and that is the reason behind our unalloyed support for his candidature today. Now coming to the job that I was given to do. Again, it is not easy to read the citation of somebody that has traversed the political landscape of this country like a colossus, and somebody in his choosing career, has made a lot of exploits and has attained the pinnacle of his profession. That notwithstanding, I will strive to do justice to the assignment given to me. Honorable Olufemi Hakim Gbajabiamila was born on the 25th of June 1962 into the family of Latif and Olufunke Gbajabiamila. Femi Gbajabiamila started his elementary education in Lagos at the mainland preparatory school and proceeded to Igbobi College, Yaba, in 1973 for his secondary education. After completion of his secondary education in Nigeria, he enrolled at the King William's College, Isle of Man, United Kingdom, for his A-levels, while he graduated at the top of his class. Upon his return to Nigeria, the young Olufemi was accepted into the University of Lagos, Nigeria, for a 3-year LLB Bachelor of Law degree program. He graduated with honors in 1983 and proceeded to the Nigerian Law School and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1984. As a young lawyer, Femi Gbajabiamila started his career with the prestigious law firm of Bentley, Edu & Co., a Lagos-based law firm, where he distinguished himself as a brilliant legal practitioner. As intellectually adventurous as ever, Femi stepped out on his own and established his own law firm, Femi Gbaja & Co. on Broad Street, Lagos, where he was a principal partner. To further his education, Gbajabiamila decided to go back to school, this time in the United States. He attended John Marshall Law School in Atlanta, Georgia, where he graduated topest of his class, earning himself a Juris Doctorate in law. After passing his Georgia bar exams in 2001, he set off a law firm in Atlanta, Georgia, where he practiced law until his return to Nigeria. Gbajabiamila had always been actively involved in politics, even in the United States, where he actively participated in the election of Bill Campbell, who later went on to become mayor of the city of Atlanta, Georgia. It was therefore not surprising that on his return to Nigeria, Gbajabiamila situated himself in the political affairs of his constituency and recognized that there would be better served if he had a chance to represent them at the House of Representatives. This informed his decision to delve into partisan politics and offered himself up for service on the platform of the then Alliance for Democracy, AD. After a rigorous and highly competitive campaign, Gbajabiamila succeeded in ousting the incumbent member of the House of Representatives from Surulere 1 Federal Constituency and clinched his party nomination for the seat. His party leaders recognized his true commitment to party ideals and worked with him to emerge victorious at the general elections. His first term in the House demonstrated his true passion for issues concerning his constituents and Nigeria as a whole. He worked passionately to address matters of great concern to him and quickly earned a reputation as a true and brilliant legislator. A true believer in qualitative representation, he took an active part in debates on the floor of the House and was recognized as one of the brilliant minds in the National Assembly. He was always on the side of truth and justice, and his views truly reflected the wishes and aspirations of his constituents. This was especially evident during the third-term debate, when he was chairman of the 2007 movement in the House, a group largely credited for ending the third-term agenda and machinations of the then President Obasanjo to perpetuate his stay in office. He did this at great risk to his life and political career. His exceptional record saw him overwhelmingly re-elected in 2007 and elected as Action Congress leader and minority whip of the House. By the end of his second tenure, Gbajabiamila has sponsored the highest number of bills in the National Assembly among all legislators. Amongst his bills and motions in the House, Gbajabiamila has been very passionate about Employee Rights Bill, Local Content in Construction Industry Bill, Vocational Schools Bill, the Economic Stimulus Bill, interest-free students loan and establishment of Nigeria Education Bank Bill to criminalize crazy electricity tariff and compulsory provision of prepaid meters to all electricity consumers, etc. Gbajabiamila fought tirelessly on the floor of the House through motions to compel the National Assembly to recognize the newly created local governments in Lagos State. He has also successfully sponsored several far-reaching amendments to the Nigerian Constitution. In 2011, Gbajabiamila for the third time contested on the platform of his party, ACN, and won. He was once again elected ACN leader and leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives. In the short time he has held this position, Femi Gbajabiamila revived the role of the opposition in the House and continued to maintain a tough stance against the then ruling party, PDP. A popular glitch amongst members of the House, and particularly the ruling party, was that the fear of Gbajabiamila is the beginning of wisdom. Such a pronouncement was born not out of fear of Gbajabiamila, but out of the profound respect his colleagues accorded him. Femi Gbajabiamila is the initiator of Lagos Job Fair, the first of its kind in southwest Nigeria. The job fair brought employers of labor drawn from public and private sectors and job seekers under one roof. Instant employments were given to meritorious candidates who are currently excelling in many public and private organizations. After this remarkable success, some states, including Oyo, adopted the Gbajabiamila model. Femi Gbajabiamila was the first and only legislator to bring motion on the floor of the House for the invocation of the doctrine of necessity during the illness and absence of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memory, which led to the swearing in of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as acting president. Before us is an action-prone individual who championed the call for fiscal federalism and accountability in public spending. He filed several lawsuits against the then federal government, who he accused of operating an illegal excess crude account and spending taxpayers' money without appropriation. Gbajabiamila's struggles did not go in vain, as the present administration has adopted a treasury single account policy which has returned a semblance of accountability to government spending. In 2011, Gbajabiamila was nominated for a high-ranking national award, Officer of the Federal Republic, OFR. He surprised many Nigerians and received several accolades when he turned down the award on the grounds that he did not deserve it, and that the award system in Nigeria was no longer achieving its original intent. To this end, Gbajabiamila put up an amendment to the National Honors Act of 1964 to make stringent guidelines for selection of national award nominees. Gbajabiamila just became the third and youngest Nigerian to reject National Honors Award after late Junior Achabe and Professor Grace Alele Williams. In 2014, Femi Gbajabiamila, as leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives, led his colleagues into the merger that gave birth to the All Progressive Congress, APC. Under Femi's leadership of the APC caucus in the House of Representatives, the party has increased its numbers, earning the party the majority party. Upon his re-election into the House of Representatives in 2015, Gbajabiamila presented himself to his colleagues as an aspirant for the speakership seat in the House. He narrowly lost the election to the incumbent Speaker Yakubu Dogara in an election which Femi Gbajabiamila himself described as an act of God. Due to his wide acceptance within the party and his members, he was pronounced leader of the 8th House of Representatives on the 28th July 2015. Femi Gbajabiamila has greatly improved on his innate leadership skills by attending various leadership courses at Stanford University, Oxford University, Cambridge University, and the world-respected Fed Business School. Femi's life has always been about public service, and over the years, he has demonstrated an unwavering dedication to this cause. His illustrious political career has provided him a platform which he has advocated numerous causes close to his heart that he strongly believes will uplift Nigerians and the country as a whole. He has shown himself a loyal party member dedicated to party ideals that will improve the life of the average Nigerians, and has reiterated over the years that this is what true leadership is all about. Femi has established various programs in his Surulere 1 federal constituency to improve the lives of his primary constituents, many of whom found him worthy of re-election for the 5th term. It is now a great honor and privilege for me to invite this very humble, cerebral, experienced, and detribalized leader, Olufemi Abdulhakim Gbajabiamila, to step forward to present his declaration address to Nigerians. Thank you.
A round of applause for the speaker. We are all invited.
The stage is big. Member select, please, come up.
Come up, everybody should come up. Come up. Because of it. Yes. Doctor.
As we await the declaration speech by the leader of the 8th House of Representatives, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, every member of the party who's present at this event wants to be on that stage with him as he makes this declaration speech, which will be coming up shortly.
Larry, thank you.
Just make sure that.
Just a bit of a background as to what we're expected to hear here from Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila will be what he would be doing for the House of Representatives as he gives his declaration speech right now.
Honorable colleagues. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, let me recognize the presence of the Chief Whip, Alassane Doga, my Director General, Abdulmune Jibril, my colleagues of the APC. But let me particularly, and I mean particularly, recognize the presence of my colleagues within the opposition parties, PDP, ABGA, ADP. I see a lot of them here, and I am completely APM, and I am totally overwhelmed and gratified by your presence here today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Femi Gbajabiamila, presently the House Leader in the 8th Assembly of the House of Representatives, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I stand here today before you, hopefully as a symbol of encouragement and a point of contact for the many young men and women out there who believe that with hard work and commitment, whatever the mind can conceive is possible. As a beacon of hope and faith, and a testimony to the endless possibilities that abound in this great country. That you can be whatever and whoever you want to be, and with focus, hard work, perseverance, the sky can sometimes be the beginning. I stand before you as a man with an abiding faith
in the greatness of our country. Let no one tell you otherwise. We are not where we ought to be, considering the abundance of talents and the blessings from God. However, I rest assured that slowly but surely we will get there. It is because of this unshakable belief in the potential and genius of Nigeria and the majesty of our democracy that I today, after wide consultations with my colleagues, my friends, family, party, and stakeholders, and in total submission to the will of God, today formally declare my intention to seek the position of the office of the Speaker of the Ninth Assembly and offer my services to the nation in this capacity. As many of you are aware, I ran for the same office just 4 years ago, but it was not to be. Well, 4 years has come and gone, and now we have come full circle. With all sense of humility, I seek this office with a rich legislative background and pedigree. And having just won a historic 5th-term mandate to the House, I have in the last 16 years dedicated my life to the service of my constituents and Nigeria. I have studied and understood the intricate workings of the legislature, the critical arm of government, and I have come to understand the imperative of striking a delicate balance in the relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government without compromising the latter's independence. Indeed, there is an essential need for a symbiotic relationship between all arms of government and all tiers of government if we are to make steady progress in nation building. In these 16 years, I have been a principal officer for 12 years. I have occupied the office of leader of the opposition and successfully moved my party from opposition to majority in the House. And I thereafter assumed the position of the leader of the House, placing me in a uniquely advantageous position of understanding the nuances and intricacies of this very critical arm of government and the need for its independence and at the same time interdependence with the executive. It is this wealth of experience and a burning desire for good governance that I bring to the table. A desire to take the legislature to the next level, standing tall, shoulder and shoulder with the most advanced legislatures world over. I have spent the last 4 years, since the last speakership election, in doing my best to stabilize the House, whilst exploring and studying how best we as legislators can unleash the full potential of this country. I have taken copious mental and physical notes, and it's time for implementation. I have tagged my campaign Nation Building, a joint task, because the task is onerous and can only be completed if we all come together. In line with the legacies of our forebearers and the labors of our heroes past, our speakership campaign, the speakership campaign logo embodies the logos, as you can see over there at the back. It embodies the logos of all political parties represented in the House in this 9th Assembly coming. And I humbly invite each one of them to join me so together we can build a more perfect union. I seek the buy-in of all my colleagues, all political parties, and Nigerians to this joint task. I seek the office of the Speaker to bring our tendencies together and unite us as a country. I seek the office of the Speaker to bring governance even closer to the people. I seek the office of the Speaker to mentor the next generation. I seek the office of the Speaker so I can use this bully pulpit to galvanize honorable members to make life more abundant for every Nigerian, irrespective of tribe, religion, religious background, or political persuasion. There is so much work to be done by way of legislation in many areas of our life, including, but not limited to, education, health, power, infrastructure, and the alleviation of poverty. I believe many of these deficits can be addressed through meaningful and impactful legislation. Historically, the House of Representatives was established to be the people's house and to do the people's business. It follows, therefore, that the Speaker must be the people's Speaker, elected to do the people's business and champion their cause, and in doing so, fulfill their hopes and aspirations. This is the Speaker I intend and hope to be. And the House I intend and hope to lead, a people's house. So help me and help us, God. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the incoming Speaker. Thank you. Yes, take our seats. Yes, take our seats.
And there you have it, the declaration speech by the leader of the 8th House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, giving us a look into the Speaker that he hopes to be and the House which he intends to lead. As the members at this particular event make their way to their seats, we take a look at some of the things that he said in that speech. He has said he has faith in the greatness of Nigeria and talks about his 16 years of dedication to his constituents and to the country as a whole. He's promising that he will create a delicate balance between the executive and legislature without compromising the independence of the legislature. He has been principal officer for 12 years and says as he vies for the position of Speaker of the House of Representatives, he brings experience and a desire for good governance. Those were his words, seeking a more perfect union, he says, and uniting the country. Also says he will be mentoring the next generation and making life better in all sectors, as well as eradicating poverty. Those are the promises that he's bringing to the table. And next, we will be listening to the response to this declaration speech by representatives of members-elect from each of the 6 geopolitical zones.
On my last count, we have over 170 honorable members present in this occasion. A round of applause for everybody. Next on our agenda, as you could see, we should start collective response from various parties. As you are aware, we are gender sensitive. Let me use the opportunity to invite a former honorable minister, a former commissioner, a former member of the House of Representatives, a member-elect from northeast, eastern part of the country, Honorable Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, to speak for people from the northeast and for the women in parliament. Thank you, Honorable. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening, good afternoon, honorable members. The House Leader, a household name, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. The Chief Whip of the House of Reps, Honorable Adodogwa. The honorable members of the House of Reps, members-elect, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. We're here today like we were 4 years ago, all together. Some of us were here, some of us were not, for this same mandate of Speakership of the House of Representatives to the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who in our midst is one of the most experienced legislators that we have ever had. I feel honored to be speaking on behalf of the Northeast. As we in the Northeast are compliant, we comply with whatever the party asks us to do, and party supremacy, like my honorable colleague, Honorable Mongono said, supersedes any individual interest. Therefore, I am appealing to our members, our colleagues, that we should put Nigeria first before ourselves. Nigeria is what we have. Nigeria is all we have. And wherever the speaker emerges from, it should not be a matter of great concern. As this speaker we have here today that has presented himself to us has shown to us, and also the citation has gone and shown to us, that indeed there is no other deserving person than himself. So I'm appealing to all our colleagues from the Northeast. We will be meeting and deciding, and also, meetings here and there over certain issues, and also to endorse our Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. Thank you very much, because I've been told to cut it short. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. The next person to speak will be, it's not surprising, but he's from the PDP. Honorable Wole Oke, PDP, Osun State. A round of applause for him, please. A round of applause for. Thank you.
The leader of the House, the whip of the House, my colleagues, our mother in the House, members-elect, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, good afternoon. Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila and my good self came to the House in 2003. We've worked together, and I know him in and out. Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila has been to my office twice. He has been to my house twice to notify me that he wants to seek for election among the members as Speaker of the House of Representatives. And in Yoruba land, we have a saying that Okweni Inshola. In other words, he has honored me. And as a well-cultured person, I also have to honor him by attending this declaration. But there's more to this. Nigeria is at a critical period of our national life. This is a period that we should be considering issues. So when we talk about national interest and issues, I can't see anybody in the House that is more qualified than Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. He's a lawyer by profession. He understands the House rules. He understands the Constitution. He can interpret the rules. Aside that, he's a very fair-minded person, a networker. We from the Southwest, we are giving you one of our best. One of our best. I speak here as Honorable Wole Oke. Honorable Wole Oke. And honestly, I'll be with him all through. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Wole Oke. The next to speak will be another veteran. Another veteran. I have the pleasure to invite the Majority House Whip in the House of Representatives, Honorable Alassane Adodogwa, the House Whip. Thank you for the correction. He's a veteran. He has been here 8 times now. Congratulations.
8 minus 2. 8 times minus 2. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem. My amiable leader, distinguished Femi Gbajabiamila, the leader of the 8th House of Representatives, and I believe, by the grace of God, the incoming Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives. My other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, dear compatriots, let me say a very good afternoon. And I would like not to, for any reason, mistake the presence of the Director General of this great campaign, whom with your leave, Mr. Speaker, I want to tag as the game changer. Mr. Speaker, or the leader of the House, I call him game changer because I was part of this struggle in the 2015 leadership project. I was with you all through. I occupied a very strategic position in the struggle to make you Speaker then. I can sincerely tell you, and it was my candid opinion, that that was the button we didn't press right and we got it wrong. And with him now as Director General, I want to believe that we are on board a flight that is safe, no turbulence, and we'll get to the destination without any trouble. Abdulmumin Jibrin, my junior brother, I welcome you on board. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to speak much long, but I have to, for the purpose of responsibility and commitment, say that this decision of the party, the APC, is not only a popular decision, but it's an upright decision for us to have the leader of the House who has tirelessly managed the operations of the APC on the floor of the House Green Chambers. And even when we have cause to meet in joint sittings, I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that Femi had always played a key role in managing the affairs of the joint leadership of the National Assembly, even with the Senate President being part of it. I want to be open to tell our colleagues that we have no other person to beat as far as this struggle is concerned than Femi Gbajabiamila. Femi, an experienced legislator, a man of astute quality as a person, someone who has intellectual acumen, personal integrity, and a team player. For the time I have been with you as member of the principal officers, body of principal officers, I have always found you as a team player. One secret about you, let me put it public today. When somebody looked at you from afar, he may mistake you for a rigid person, very rigid. You look terribly in the face. But let me tell you, Femi is as simple as ABC. Very simple person, very humble person.
Thank you.
If you have Femi as a leader, you are also a leader yourself. He is somebody who always compromises to very appropriate decisions. That I can tell. Mr. Speaker, 9th Assembly, by God's grace, the leader of the 8th House of Representatives, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that those of us that are here, we are here on the commitment of our people. Not even the party in the first place. You can see all around, it's like the business of the Northwest Zone. It is the business of the Northwest indeed, because we want to compensate and pay back to Nigerians what they have given to us in the name of the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
MC, a whip is always a whip. A leader, I want to cane this person. With your leave, I want to cane him. Okay, since you are cutting me short, I wish all of us very resourceful engagement. And I want to urge our members, wherever you find yourself, count yourself as Femi, as if you are contesting for the speakership as well. If each and every one of us could be able to bring one or two more on board, then we are good to go. And I want to believe, like I said, Femi will be a speaker for each and every one of us. And I also want to give it back lightly to Wale Oke. I heard you say that you are giving one of your best from the Southwest. I also assure you we will give you one of our best from the Northwest to match Femi.
Thank you, the whip. Very quickly, we have only 3 minutes to go. I would like to call on Honorable Uju Kinsley, AA Imo State. Honorable Uju Kinsley. and Honorable Ifeanyi Momo, Abga Anambra. And also Honorable Tunji, the chairman of the New Members Forum. 1 minute. Honorable Tunji. Okay, Uju Kesley AA.
Thank you very much. The honorable member who just served as our MC. Our leader, the leader of the House, every other member here, with much emphasis on the members elect, speaking from the point of Southeast, I'm speaking from the point of the new members elect from Southeast. We have here the AA member and the ABGA members here as well. Our joy today is having a leader and a speaker who understand the business of legislature. We are coming from the outside, but from what we've seen on Honorable Gbajabiamila, we've seen a man who believes in legislative independence. We've seen a man whose experience in legislative business, where new members must queue in to tap that experience. I remember his speech here, he said he's calling all of us, both AA, APC, ABGA, PDP, to join him to partner in making Nigeria better. Today, we are seeing a leadership of the House that will actually uphold the tenet of democracy, that protect all members on the floor of the House and outside the floor of the House. Thank you, and God bless all of you. But before I round up my speech, please, we are from Southeast. We really want to bring a message of the Southeasterners to Gbajabiamila and all members here, that the Southeast is solidly behind Gbajabiamila. Both Southeast of all political parties, I don't want us to be seen from the angle of opposition. Please see us as the angles of partners in the progress. God bless all of you. Hello. Hello. The very erudite, okay, let me stand on the existing protocol. The very erudite leader of the House currently and the incoming Speaker of the 9th Assembly. I feel very glad, and of course I thank God Almighty, who made it possible for us to be members of this 9th Assembly, when an erudite material in the personality of Gbajabiamila will be mounting rostrum to be presiding over affairs of the lower house, thereby bringing dividends of democracy to Nigerians. To God be the glory. My name is Dr. Pascal Obi.
Thank you, Honorable.
From the AA. What interests me most is the assurance he gave that he will be a speaker both for the majority and minority members of the House. To God be the glory.
My name is Honorable Ifeanyi Momo from Anambra State. The leader of the House, in a very simple word, what we want to tell you is that we want a leader that would build bridges between the executive and the legislature. Because when the bridges are built, that harmony would enhance the grassroots development that we will send back to our constituencies. That is why we are supporting you.
Thank you.
All hands are on deck for you. Thank you. Thank you very much, my leader. Thank you very much.
Let me at this juncture recognize the presence of former Deputy Speaker, Honorable Alaji Babangida Ngurore. Honorable, you are most welcome. I would like to call on Honorable Kau Smela. And also Speaker, Alaji Sunusi Rikiji, APC Zamfara, the present Speaker of Zamfara State House of Assembly. 1 minute, two-term Speaker.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Mr. Speaker, inshallah, coming June 12th of the 9th Assembly, my dear respected honorable colleague, Assalamu alaikum. I think my own is very brief. I listened to the past speakers from the citation downward, and I believe members-elect and returning members are ready to return Femi as the next Speaker of the House of Representatives, inshallah. But one thing which I want us to understand is that we are APC. Most of us talk about party loyalty. Our support to Femi Gbajabiamila is beyond party politics. We are supporting Femi because we knew Femi. We started this journey with Femi since 2003. For example, we served with Femi in 2003 to 2007, and we served in the body of principal officers from 2007 up to 2015. And I have the opportunity to work with him very closely as an advisor to Mr. President from 2015 to 2019. I think he's best among us. It's beyond party politics. We need to come together. We need to make sure that we make it happen for the betterment of Nigeria and Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Cow. Now we'll listen to Tunji.
Permit me to stand on existing protocols. My name is Honorable Bumi Tunji, the coordinator of the APC first-time elect members of the House of Reps. Permit me to say this. We are extremely elated and excited that we're part of a project that we know stands for party discipline, party supremacy, and somebody who is an intellect. We, as first-timers, we know that Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila will be someone who will be able to steer the affairs of the House appropriately, instill discipline, and at the same time, like what he said, ensure legislative independence, while at the same time not compromising interdependency with the executive. We appreciate you. We are 164 in number, and we want to tell you we are with you. And together we will win, we will deliver for Nigeria, and Nigeria will be glorious. 9th Assembly will be greater than the 8th Assembly under your able leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tunji, APC Ondo State. Let me recognize the presence of Honorable Jerry Alaboso, PDP. I want to invite you to the podium to make a speech. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable colleagues, our leader and the leader of House of Representatives.
And those are the speeches there from different parts of the country, from the 6 geopolitical zones at the official declaration of Femi Gbajabiamila for the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 9th National Assembly. He's tagged this particular campaign nation building, which is a joint task, and we'll be seeing how this campaign unfolds in the days to come. Very big shoes to be filled, and he believes that he is well qualified to fill those shoes with his impressive resume, and he has said that he brings experience and a decisive move for good governance. He says this is what he's bringing to the table and seeks a more perfect union, and will keep the delicate balance, he says, between the executive and the legislature, without compromising its independence. That is what he says he brings to the table, and that he will be a speaker for all parties. We can see people from different political parties, from the AA, the PDP, and the APC, coming out to give their support for Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila. And that has been the program this evening. Thank you so much for listening. The official declaration of Femi Gbajabiamila for the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives at the 9th National Assembly. I am Kayla Magwa. Now.
You've been watching a live Channels television event.